Record. So happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to the Fit Mama Dynasty call. I am super pumped that y'all took the time to get on it with us because I know, I know we all have kids. I know we all have jobs. Everybody's tired. I was trying to meal prep and grocery shop with a very angry toddler, and let's just say I wish I could drink wine because I was ready to beat her when I left the grocery store. So there's that. But some of the things we're going to talk about tonight is how to get over objections and how to deal with people that kind of doubt you when you get started. It's something that we all go through in the very beginning. It's something you may experience yourself. It may not be other people. It may be you doubting yourself, doubting that you have the ability to make this work, doubting that you have the ability to be awesome with what you're doing. Self-doubt is a huge thing that we all go through. Dealing with lack of self-confidence is something else we all go through. My phone's been blowing up all day from girls that I'm working with that are having the same issue. In the beginning, when you're really starting to plug into either coaching or getting results for yourself before you start coaching, one of the things that you will struggle with most is your ability to explain what you're doing without feeling like you're spammy, without feeling like, you're trying to sell someone something. Even though we know that's not what you're doing, it's that kind of like, I can't talk to people about this because they're going to think that I want them to buy something kind of mindset. Everybody goes through that. It doesn't matter what MLM you work for. It is just part of the thing because people make you feel like you're being spammy, even if you're not. Some of the first messages, I wish I had saved them and screenshotted them and can share them now. When I sent people messages inviting them after I'd gotten my results, you could tell in my messages that I was super not confident in what I was doing and that I was super scared what people were going to think. Whereas now I send people messages and I'm like, you can either join me or you can't. I mean, I don't really care, but I would love to have you because I think you're awesome. You kind of just have to detach your feelings from it. The reason that you got started was for you, not for anyone else. Of course, you want to look good for, maybe other people, maybe your husband, maybe a boyfriend, maybe, you have specific goals or something you want to work towards, but you're doing it for yourself. You're making these lifestyle changes, not diets, not, quick fixes for yourself because you want to see the results long term. So when you are sharing about that publicly, that's what you have to remember. I'm not doing this for anyone but myself. And if anyone has a problem with that, it's not a problem with me. It's a problem with the fact that they're not at that point yet. And they are jealous that I'm doing this. I'm making it happen. That I'm putting in the time to meal prep and to grocery shop and to get my workouts in. And I'm spending that $100 a month on that stupid healthy shake. That's what people see. And it's not that necessarily they're jealous of, they're just not happy with where they're at. And so if you get negative messages, that's why. If you have people, hi Christy, if you get people that don't support you, that's why, because they want to be where you're at. I have an older sister that's still there, still doesn't support me, still gives me tons of crap, still talks about me behind my back because she's not happy with where she's at. And she's pissed because I'm making it happen. I'm 36 weeks pregnant and I'm still going after it. I'm still working hard. I'm still investing my time in myself and in other people because I see the need for that. So that's just something you have to remember. It's not because of you, it's because of them. The reason you're getting this, maybe it's a spouse. My husband was very unsupportive for a long time. Of course he was happy that I was working out and trying to lose weight. But what he wasn't happy about was the changes that it was taking on him. Like, it was affecting him. I'm not cooking 2 dinners, so you're either going to eat what I eat or you're not eating. And that caused issues a lot. It's those things. So keep that in mind when you're talking to people, when you're sharing on your wall. Talk to people that are like you. Talk to the person you are right now as you're going through this change. That's something I wish someone would have told me when I got it started. I don't have to post any specific thing inviting to, people that I am not. Right now, I'm a very pregnant toddler mom who is balancing 2 jobs, no sleep, just craziness. And that's who I'm talking to. I'm talking to women that understand the hormonal psychoness that's going on right now, and the life of trying to rest, but I have a toddler, so what's that about? You know, preparing to bring another baby into this world and balance these things. That's who I'm talking to. Who y'all are talking to may be completely different. Maybe you have a little one and you're, you know, working on making changes for yourself, but you're a busy mom. You know, have a job outside of the home, or you have older kids and you work outside of the home. And so how you're approaching what you're going to say when you share things is going to be completely different, because maybe you're not in that hormonal crazy stage of life. Maybe you're in that, my kids are on a schedule, they're getting sleep, but now my life is playing school bus to someone else, or, you know, I have very little time to myself, or whatever it is. There are so many different things and so many different stages of life that we go through, and that's important to document all of them. The reason I say take pictures all the time is because you want to document where you're at in life. Result pictures are important because it tells a story. It tells where you're at. And I can tell 90% of the time by reading through posts on people's pages what they're going through, what they're thinking about themselves, the kind of confidence they have, the kind of self-belief that they have, all through someone's post. I can tell a lot by reading people's posts because it's just something I've learned how to do, because it's something that I do. I'm very introspective when it comes to posting and sharing, because I want to make sure that I'm adding value to whoever I'm talking to. I want to make sure that I'm not just putting random crap out on Facebook, because there are plenty of people that do that. We don't need anybody else doing that. You know, I want to make sure that when someone reads my post, they're getting something from it. Maybe something, it's a harder subject to talk about, but they're finding something to take away from it that's a little bit different and a little bit more positive. So what we're going to talk about, that's kind of what we're talking about, but something that I learned this weekend while I was at Bethmore, and if you've ever heard me talk about this, I relate my faith and coaching a lot, because to me, it goes hand in hand. It's something that I can't separate, and I wouldn't want to if I could. But she was talking about having a mountaintop experience. Having a mountaintop experience calls for a mountain climb. So right now, as a new coach, you're at the very bottom. You're starting, you have no following. People don't know what you're talking about. They don't know what the heck Shakeology is. They don't know what all of these different, they have no idea. They have no idea. They just think it's one of these things that you're doing and it's going to burn out. Trust me, you would not believe how many people told me I would not make it 6 months. I myself did not think I would make it 6 months. But here I am almost 2 years later with a growing team of awesome people, and just doing it. So that's something you have to understand. You're going to start at the bottom. You've got to invest the time. You've got to invest the belief. You've got to invest in yourself. Obviously, that's like how you got started. In order to get to the top of the mountain, you're going to have to make the climb. Jesus sandals and all. Whether you're going barefoot at this, you have no training in the beginning, you have no business background. I didn't. You have no social media training. I didn't. You have no idea what the heck you're doing, how to post. You have like 250 friends on Facebook. That's the very bottom. You're going to start from the ground up. And that's awesome if you're starting like that. It's also awesome if you've already been sharing about this and people know what you're about. People know that you're serious about making changes because you want to be a healthier mom. You want to be more energetic. You want to look good naked. Who cares? Let people know what you're about, because that's what's important. I love Jesus. I cuss a little bit. I like wine. You know, people know that's what I'm about. I eat peanut butter on the regular. And ask anybody. They'll tell you what I'm about. I eat lots of peanut butter and butter. Let's see. You have to constantly be a student. You have to constantly stay in that place of hunger. When you start to get discouraged, it's time to whip out a YouTube video. It's time to find some motivation from someone else. That's why we strongly encourage personal development. There is a whole Audible library at your fingertips, and you are welcome to listen to any of those books. The one that I'm listening to, I'm actually listening to two right now. One of them is Without Rival by Lisa Bevere. It's a Christian-based book, but it talks about embracing your identity and purpose in an age of confusion and comparison. It's a very empowering book with a lot of biblical background. The other one is Rising Strong. Let me see. The Reckoning, the Rumble, and the Revolution. So, hold on, I have to read that comment. I should be a motivational speaker. One day. It's by Brene Brown. Those are the two newest books in there. There are tons of personal development books that are girl boss related, that are making changes related, that are how to not give an F about what people think. That one was not my idea, but I did buy it. Start with Why, Leaders Eat Last. There's stuff on the bulletproof diet. If y'all have ever heard me talk about the higher fat, low carb diet, that book's in there. Let's see. There's all kinds of stuff. The 10X Rule's a good one. The Compound Effect is a good one. Eat That Frog. Those are all really good. Like I'm starting a new business adventure kind of thing. Or balancing, trying to figure out how to balance life and all of these other things. Those are really good books. You Are a Badass. I highly suggest if you've never read that book, read it or listen to it. I like to listen to it because it just makes me feel powerful. Listen to it. Take notes. These are all at your disposal. All you have to do is get on the Fit Mama Dynasty page under the photos. There is a section called Audible. The login and password are in there. Just make sure you know where you stop because other people get on here and use this too. And I buy a new book every month, so there's always new ones coming in. Another handy tool is podcasts. Find somebody you like to listen to and see if you can find them on a podcast. I listen to Stephen Furtick on the regular. He's a preacher. I listen to the National Wake Up Call. I have that as a podcast because there's a lot of ones that you can go back and listen to that are really applicable to where you're at. Those are the top coaches in our company. Not necessarily all top 10, but they're the ones that are making a difference in this company. So when they speak, they have a lot of really helpful tips. So that's a good resource. Anytime you say, and I say this all the time, anytime you find something that speaks to you on Pinterest or on Facebook, there's a little tab in the top right-hand corner. You can save it. If it's a video, you can save it. If it's a graphic, save it on your phone or computer, and sit down later when you have a thought about it and write down why you thought about it. What did it make you think of? Why did it inspire you? I do that all the time on Pinterest. All of my recipes, all of my motivational quotes that are in any of our groups are nutrition tips. 90% of those come from Pinterest. So Pinterest is a gold mine. Use the Google. If nothing else, there is Google. Google is man's best friend, basically. So when another way to think about this, what are your intentions going into this? Do you want to be a business builder? Do you want to change lives? Maybe it's not to build a business. Maybe that was not your intention at all. Sure wasn't mine. My goal was to help people make healthy changes that I was making. My goal was to make women feel empowered by their results. My goal was to share the knowledge that I'm learning, because what's the point in learning if you're not going to share it? I mean, what's the point of having this opportunity if you're never telling anyone about it, even though it's been the single best thing that's changed your life? What's the point of all of this personal development and self-change if you're not ever going to encourage anyone else or add value to someone else's life? That's selfish. Anytime you learn something and it's awesome, you should share that with someone, because why else are you doing it? That makes sense? And something that she was talking about, she said, you have to have that fire and you have to embrace that fire. I want ears that actually hear. When people speak to me, I actually want to hear what they're saying. I don't want to have a message with them and my only intention is to sell them something. There are going to be some months where you don't help anybody and don't make any money. We have all been there. Talk to more people. Have conversations with more people. That just means that you are not putting yourself out there enough. If you're having months where nothing is happening. Conversations take time. legitimate relationship building, like every single person on this call, that takes time. This isn't something that happened overnight. Alyssa and I met through another coach, through her coach, and met for the first time right before we graduated from the same college. Like, that was like 6 months after meeting, you know? Cassie and I have never met. I made a shirt for her one time, and, you know, then she kind of found me on Facebook. Kayla and I have never met face to face. Hold on, I gotta read that comment. I've never met Sally, but I hope that one day I do. Yes, what Katie said. You might help someone, but it may not be ever by selling them something. I have so many women that have found me through the weirdest ways that want nothing to do with health and fitness, but they need some kind of something. They need that, like, little Jesus vibe I can give them. They need that motivational speaking that I have a natural gift for. They need something like that. They need me to say, hey, you know what? Today sucks, but tomorrow is a new day. This evening is a new evening. You're not defined by what's happened before. Just move on, you know? They need my sass and my feistiness, because not everybody is blessed with that. I'm sorry. Not everybody's blessed with that. I want eyes that don't just see, but that perceive. When I talk about being able to look at people's posts and know exactly where they're at in life, it's because I'm not just seeing things. I'm not just reading it and taking things at face value. I am perceiving what is going on underneath the surface. That is what keeps me going. That is what makes me a good coach. And I'm going to say, I'm a pretty good coach. That's not to toot my own horn, but I know that I put the time in. I know that I invest in people, and I know that I'm here for the right reasons. Yes, I absolutely freaking want to make money. I would love to make that full-time income, but it's about the people more than it's about the money, because whether I make money or not, I'm still going to be a stay-at-home mom. I'm still going to be doing my own thing. So that's something to keep in mind. I want a heart that is perceptive to the people that I'm working with, and that is perceptive to the Lord and what He's calling me to do. Many of us on this team and in our upline will tell you that we feel like we are called to do this. The reason that we have not given up after 2 years, not a whole lot. My income last year was less than $15,000 as a coach, which I could have done different things. I didn't have anyone leading me, though. I was figuring this out for myself. But I have a heart to know that this is where I'm supposed to be. The fact of the matter that 90% of my team has come to me through a faith-based connection rather than a health and fitness connection helps me know that this is where I'm supposed to be. Every day that I get up and I share something that I'm learning, I share the way that I'm struggling or I'm failing, or, you know, I have to take a step back and ask myself, like, why am I here? I know that that's why I'm here. If you have to question yourself why you're here, that's a good question to ask, because it keeps you in the know, it keeps you relevant, and it keeps you present to where you're at now. Let's see. For a clearer vision, we need to check our lenses. If you are looking through the lens of someone else to see yourself, you are looking through the wrong set of glasses. Girlfriend, get you a new set of glasses. If you only see yourself the way people see you, it's time to step back and it's time to make something change. It's time to do something different. I think that's where the lack of self-confidence and the lack of self-assurance comes from. It's because we get so caught up in what people think about us that we stop understanding how we feel and think about ourselves. Like, it's important how you feel and think about yourself. Do you love yourself? I didn't for a really long time. Are you confident in your ability to make a change and to help other people do that? Maybe not yet. Yes. Oh my gosh, I have that written down. Hold on. Let me jump ahead to that because it's so true. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? It was so good. Let's see. Oh crap, I don't know. But basically what Alyssa just said is that other people's opinions are none of our business. What people say and think about you are none of your business. That's between them and the Lord. That's just what you get. girl, get on with your bad self, because that has nothing to do with me. And that's exactly what I said in the beginning. People that judge you, people that slow you down, people that want to comment on things negatively, negatively, that's how you say that, or make assumptions about what you're doing or what you're not doing, that is not your business. I'm just saying, those are not your people. It's just lesson release. It's the best thing I can tell you. Let's see. If you only rely on what other people tell you, and it's like, this is a good analogy, so take this down. So maybe you're starting out, things are going really great, you're doing really awesome, everybody's like loving what you're doing, they're loving your motivation, and they're loving your excitement, and you just got this rolling. If you only thrive off of that, and you don't have any kind of fundamental backing about how you feel about yourself, you're not doing your workouts, you're not eating your food, you're not drinking your shake, you're not taking time to spend time. Yes, that's why your circle will change. You're not taking time to spend time on yourself. That will change. People will love you, and then people will hate you. People will clap you and applaud you for everything you're doing at the beginning, and you're making all of these awesome changes, and life is great. But that will stop, and it will reverse. And you will get nasty messages. People will start attacking your marriage. They will start attacking your body image. They will start attacking the way that you mother your children. They will start attacking anything, because they're coming after you. And if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you're about, if you don't know why you're doing this, it will shut you down in a quick, fast, and a hurry. There are a lot of coaches that have done really awesome out the gate and have quit because they could not handle when that applaud went to, we don't like you anymore. So don't live for the likes on Facebook. Don't live for the hearts on Instagram. Live for the people that seek you out earnestly and say, girl, I needed that today. You don't even understand. Those are your people. And you will have people that follow you for months and never say anything. They don't like, they don't comment, nothing. They just want to see what you're about. They want to be a silent creeper. I'm a silent creeper. I like to creep on people. But they want to see what you're about. They want to see what kind of changes you're making, and they want to see if it's going to continue. The people that judge you now and say that, well, you're not going to make it 2-3 weeks, you're going to fail. Yes, they want to see if you're going to last. They're going to be watching. There is always someone watching. And I don't mean that in like a creepy way, because it could be taken as creepy. I don't mean that in a creepy way, but they're going to be those people that need that change desperately, that need someone to speak life into them, and they get that from your posts. They want to make sure you're genuine. They want to make sure you're unique. They want to make sure you're not perfect. They want you to own the successes and the failures, because there are enough people on social media pretending to be fake. They don't need somebody else in their face pretending to have it all together. That is why in our challenge groups, we strongly encourage you to get real with your people. We strongly encourage you to post the good and bad days. I didn't work out today. I ate like crap all weekend. I didn't drink enough water. Or I'm mentally down on myself. I'm really struggling with this stuff. You got to own that. You got to embrace that. You got to share that, because that's what people need. They need to know that, well, she's a health and fitness coach, but she's not perfect. That's what people really, really need. Okay, that's what I got. Katie, Alyssa, unmute yourselves if you got anything to add. Well, there are like 5 points, but it's like 6 pages, so I'm just going to stop there.
I took some notes while you were talking, and I love that. This is one of my favorite quotes from You're Badass. Where did I write it? What other people think about you has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. So when you're talking to people and you, like she was saying, you get that shift from like everyone's happy for you, and then when you keep continuing to do well for yourself and you're staying on top of posting on social media and you're sharing your journey and you're being authentic. When I first started, I would get tons and tons of likes on stuff, And then when people realized that I was doing this for a business and as a way to earn money for my income, it's hilarious how fast I lost people. And that's when I realized those weren't my people. Just because you're friends on Facebook doesn't mean that they want to join you. It doesn't mean that they want to be involved in something. It's just hilarious to me that people will pay money for a gym or for a trainer, but when it comes to someone that they know, most of, like when I started my warm market, was people that I went to high school with, that I was friends with, you know, mutual friends, like one of my best friends, like I've met them through them or whatever. But when it comes to someone that they know that's closer to them, they would rather take their money elsewhere until you add value, until you show that you're in it to win it, that you're sticking with it, that you're not just doing this for a couple of weeks and then you're going to fall off. That's where consistency is so key, because when they see you sticking with it, like I have people that I started talking to a year ago when I very first started that are just now coming around to the idea like, oh, she's still doing that? Like, this must be a real thing. So, I mean, there's some people that will jump on board and applaud you from the very beginning and be like your rock star challengers. And there's some people that they're very skeptical about stuff. And that's why it's so important to be open and share not only the highlight reel. Like I talked about last night, we went to get fajitas and I had a margarita. Like, I'm human. I'm not going to follow the container system to a T, 24/7. Like, I'm sorry, that's unrealistic.
Even
and I don't
Coach and Beachbody post about eating pizza and Lucky Charms and having a margarita with friends. Like, she's number one in this business and a multi-millionaire. So I feel like she's doing something right.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, I've been doing this for almost 2 years, and I don't hardly ever talk about my income because truthfully, I don't have a lot of income to talk about. But I talked about the way that it's changed me and the way that I'm continuing to push through even through those things. You don't have to talk about income. You don't have to promise people that they're going to make money. In fact, you're not allowed to do that because Beachbody does not allow that. So don't promise people that they're going to make money. Just share why it's changed you, and that makes it entirely different story. It's not spammy because, girl, I ain't promising you're gonna make $1 million. If you ain't doing nothing, you ain't gonna have anything happen for you.
Oh yeah. So I think just like being genuine and speaking through your posts, like you were sitting here talking, like I always go back and I read my posts out loud to make it sure it sounds like me, like I'm talking, because if I'm going to work with someone in a challenge group and they're going to join my team as a coach, that's why I love voice messages, because people can hear what you're actually meaning, because text is so hard to read sometimes. That's why I use a lot of emojis in my posts, because I want people to know that I'm, lighthearted or whatever I'm talking about. Like I don't know, I can just be a smart ass sometimes. So I like that to come across when I'm posting stuff. So I read things out loud, and that helps so much. And the people that you want in your challenge group and then you want on your team are people that you would sit and, go to happy hour with, or someone that you would want to spend time with. Like, I'm not going to convince someone to be in this with me if I don't genuinely connect with them, if I don't want to go to Super Saturday with them. Like, that's the beauty in this business, is we get to choose who we work with. I don't know about y'all, but like past jobs that I've had, hate's a strong word, but I didn't like a lot of my coworkers. And I've just always kind of had like that tough love mentality. Like, I'm a hard worker, and if you show up to work and you're going to bitch and whine about stuff, like, I'm sorry, but it's not going to work out. But Baylin, one of my new coaches, she asked me on her Getting Started Right call. I'm going to shout out because this was a really good question. I told Travis after I got off the call with her, I was like, I know she's going to rock it out, because she asked me, she was like, what was one thing that you did in the beginning that helped you? Like, how did you make that shift, pretty much? And it was when I started actually listening to people, and I made that mindset shift of, I'm not in this to make money. Like, yes, it is a business and I do benefit from having an income, but helping people, like Katie said, like, you can help someone and not make a dime off of them. And I'm completely fine with that because one, it adds value. They know that I'm serious about this. They know that I'm not in this just to reap a financial gain from them. I don't look at people like a dollar sign anymore. And I'm making more money now than I did when I thought that way. So that was like the hugest shift for me, I think.
Another good quote is progress no matter how fast or slow you go. Something that I was taught in the beginning when my coach was trying to coach was that you sign as many people as you can as fast as you can. And I learned last year when I went through a personal struggle, like had to kind of back off for a couple of months, and kind of went into this really deep and dark place. The people that I thought were supporting me, they were gone. I went from having a whole team of coaches to down to like 3 or 4. We're talking like 40 down to like 3 or 4, because those weren't my people. And those were people that needed me for all of the wrong reasons. So when you're talking to people, when you're building these relationships, it is about quality. It's going to take more time. You don't need 500 coaches to be a top coach in this business. You need quality people that understand your heart, understand your passion, and they want the same thing for their people. Another thing that I started thinking about when Alyssa was talking, there are going to be people that never do anything. They just legitimately love talking to you. They legitimately love, being around you. You gonna leave? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Tell them I said bye. There are going to be people that comment on your stuff and they say, I'm really interested, or they do your free groups. They'll do 1,000 free groups, but they'll never commit financially. You're going to have those people, and those people are really frustrating. But after a while, those people will come back and they'll be like, okay, I'm ready now. I'm ready. I had to do they have to figure it out for themselves. You can talk about how great and how awesome it is, but until someone makes that decision for themselves, it's not going to change. They're going to pay for the personal trainer. They're going to pay for the nutritionist. They're going to pay for the gym membership that costs out the wazoo and be frustrated because they're not getting results and they don't have time and all these things. They're going to do all of that, and then they're going to finally come back to you. So understand that when someone tells you no, or not right now, or I'm not interested, you put their name down. And you keep commenting, and you keep liking, you keep stalking them. And in a positive way, not in a creepy way. And letting them know that you care. Because when those things happen, and when those things fall through, and for some people it doesn't. Some people, they just love the gym more. And that's okay. We're not bashing gym goers, because there are a lot of us that are personal trainers and gym goers and all of this stuff. I'm not one of those people. I'm way too anxious. But keep those people in mind, because they could still be an awesome coach. They're still an awesome resource to have. They're still fun to talk to and be around. So don't take a no as a finality. Don't let it crush your spirit. Just say, you know what, that's awesome. I'm so happy you found something that works for you. I would love to get some input, just on what you think about this product or that product. Maybe send them a sample of something if you have some laying around. Keep the conversation flowing and friendly. Ask them if they have any tips or recipes or hydration things, like anything you can, just to keep it positive and light. So don't take it as like, oh my gosh, they said no, they hate me. Because I used to do that. And I would have like a panic attack every time I had to sit down to talk to people. It was horrible. Katie, do you have anything? We're going to get kicked off in like 3 minutes. So.
Well, thanks a lot. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, y'all just let me go last. No, basically, like, I'm just sitting here like, yes, amen, preach on, like everything. And that's why Katie and Alyssa and I all work together, because we're all going to tell you the exact same thing without even talking to each other first. We all believe 110% exactly what they're telling you. And you cannot go wrong with any of this information. I'm just going to echo what they've said. I mean, people will follow you for a very long time before you may ever even know it. And they're following you, like Katie said, to see if you're going to be consistent, to see if you're going to fail, to see when you fail, if you're going to get back up and keep going. If it's doable with your type of lifestyle. People follow me and look to see whether or not it's doable for a busy mom who's a working mom of young kids. I mean, So if I can do it and they are busy outside of the home working mom with young kids, then maybe they can do it too. Does that make sense? Anyway, and so don't get discouraged if you don't get the response that you think you will, because it may be coming when you least expect it. And don't be surprised when someone messages you after 6, 8, 10, 12 months and says, hey, I've been watching you for a long time, because sometimes it takes a lot of courage for somebody to step out and actually reach out to you, to even comment or like on stuff, because we all see in our news feeds all of this junk, right? All of the wraps and the pills and the fat blockers and the crap that's out there. And if you like or comment on somebody's stuff like that, they're going to immediately message you and want to sell you a product. And that's not what we're about. So therefore, people are skeptical and safe and don't want to do that, and don't want to reach out and ask too many questions about this elusive challenge group you have going on, because you're probably going to try to sell them something, right? So never go at someone with the intent to sell them anything, ever. That's not what this business is about. It's not what this business is about for us. That's not what this business is about for our group. We thrive on relationships, and that's what it is about. 100% to the core is relationships. And when you message somebody, and when you're talking to somebody, when you're having a conversation with somebody, it is about that relationship that you're building with them. It is not about what product you're going to sell them. It is not about anything like that. It may just be that they need a friend. It may be that they need to be in your next small group that's going to do a daily devotional, something like that. It may need that they need some prayers that week, and you're the only one that they feel like is legitimately real that they can reach out to. Professional friend makers. That's the truth. That's what coaching is. So you have to keep that in mind, and it will slip away, and it's very, very easy to lose sight of that. It's very easy to go, oh, I need to sell this many challenge packs, or I need to get this many Success Club points, or I need to reach that rank. But hey, sweet girl. Hey, Reese. So always, always, always go back to, why am I doing this? And it's about the people, and it's about the relationships. When I first started, I had lots of success to begin with. And I account that, number one, to the fact that I felt like I was legitimately called to do this. And number two, because I legitimately, honestly cared about the people. I had been so frustrated with the attempts that I had had to lose weight and get in shape before, that I was so genuinely excited about what I had found was possible. Oh, we're fixing to lose everybody in 30 seconds. So I just shared that.